listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Welcome to Grave Discussions. I am your host, Barnabas.
And I am the one, the only, the most handsomest handsome in all of the world. All right, I'm Samael, god damn it. And welcome to episode almost 80, aka 79. Yeah. We're calling this one Grave Choices. Why are we calling it Grave Choices?
Well, we've really gotten into October now, and this is what I would consider our first official Grave Discussions, kind of like October episode. So Happy October, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh yeah, we got less than a month until the greatest holiday in the world, and of course we had to give you guys another 31 graves of Halloween. That's up now on our website. Go check it out. We both have a list of 31 movies that we're going to watch this month. I've been doing okay with mine, but you can see that on the website, gravediscussions.net. And today we thought we'd highlight a few choices off of each of our lists and kind of just talk about them and, you know, suggest them to you guys, but really tell you why they belong on your watch list for the greatest month of the year.
And they do belong on it.
Mm-hmm.
On everyone's.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got some Halloween themed stuff. We've got some monsters and ghouls and whatnot. That's all coming up. But as always, we do have to start out by shouting out Sports Radio Detroit.
Yes, our gracious hosts, and you can find them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up SRD, Sports Radio Detroit, or you can check them out at sportsradiodetroit.com. Remember, Sports Radio Detroit, not Detroit Sports Radio.
Yep. Check out all the other awesome shows they have. And speaking of which, they actually no longer have them. Over Under Fair is now actually on the Make Fun Network, but we still partner with those guys, and we just sat down with them this past weekend to do an awesome show. I don't want to say what it was about or anything, but you horror fans are definitely going to like it.
We talked about a lot. Tune in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really fun. Love those guys, Dave, Lacey, Roger, hello, and you'll be able to listen to that episode this month, hopefully, so stay tuned. And now, before we get into the meat of the show, a few messages from some other SRD shows, so stick around for just a minute, and then we'll be back with an uninterrupted Grave Discussions.
Hi, this is Chris.
And this is Roger.
And if you like Tigers baseball, Major League Baseball, Minor League Baseball, analytics, pop culture references, movies, sports, food, check us out. Look for Tigers SRD on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeremy Bryant. Catch me, E, and Brian on Pearson's Piece, 8 to 9 a.m. on Sports Radio Detroit Network, CRB, on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere else you can find podcasting.
And welcome back, Fright fans. So to begin the show, as always, we've got some news. Obviously, it's been a little bit longer than usual since our last real Grave discussion show. So there has been a lot of news. We've kind of narrowed it down to some of the bigger moments. But we're going to start right off with some sad news. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to none other than Captain Spaulding himself, Sig Haig, which we've known about for a week or two now.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Nicholson, who directed a few horror movies and was actually a more prolific makeup artist who worked on like The Predator,
Scary Movie,
so a bunch of other stuff. So R.I.P. to those guys. Really sucks, especially Sid Haig. I mean, he was sick, you know, everyone knew it, but it still sucks.
Yeah, rest in peace, Sid. I have the same birthday as you, so I will. You will live on.
Oh yeah, always in our memories, of course.
Hell yeah, especially So I was kind of in the mood to watch House of a Thousand Corpses.
Always good to watch it anyway, but especially as a tribute to Sid. So
Oh yeah.
maybe we'll check that out. On to a little bit happier news though. Apparently the U.S. rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street have reverted back to Wes Craven's estate.
Oh shit. Now what?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, now they can kind of do whatever they want. So it kind of says that some of the international rights, I think, might still belong to WB and New Line Cinema. But that's okay because anything made here in the States, I mean, technically could be made, distributed, I believe. I don't know everything about all that law, but I think the state actually took the rights back pursuant to like that same rights clause that's going on in the Friday the 13th fiasco, which hasn't wrapped up yet, but Nightmare on Elm Street has. It does mean that we could see another Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
We need to bring back Robert Englund for one more.
I think he said he'd be down
He
for
said
one
he'd
more,
be down
yeah.
for one more. The last time we saw him was on an episode of The Goldbergs.
Mm-hmm. But hey, if he has another movie in him, then I'm more than happy to see it, especially if they go back to the roots of like the first, 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, make it actually scary, not so much comedic. Or fuck it, make another remake and then have England reprise his role. What's so wrong about casting the original in a remake?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't mind it at all.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. As of this moment, there's been no other news really. But moving on, Stranger Things, with how successful it is, no surprise here, but Netflix has officially renewed the show for a 4th season. Now,
I'm not surprised.
Me neither. Apparently, season 3 was really good. I'm still waiting to watch it.
Yeah, me too. I haven't watched it yet, and everyone on Xbox wants to tell me spoilers and shit, and they want me to watch it so we can talk about it, but I can't. It's October. I have to get through our lists.
Yeah, I've been trying to watch it with my girlfriend, but we just haven't found time yet. We just binged all of Big Mouth.
Oh yeah,
3,
that just came out too. I got something else to watch now.
Yeah, it was really good, but Stranger Things we've been trying to watch. It just hasn't happened yet, but I'm like, babe, we gotta watch it. So hopefully soon. It did look good. I'm excited for season 4. I can't obviously give any theories since I haven't seen season 3, but I mean, the show is insanely popular, and I think this might be the last season. This article also says that the Duffer Brothers were signed to a multi-year film and series overall deal with Netflix, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do more Stranger Things. It could mean Stranger Things spin-off movies, which could be interesting, but I think this might be either the last or penultimate season of the show.
It would make sense.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what happens with the story in season 3, so I can't really comment in that aspect, but still exciting. And then finally, Jordan Peele, with how successful he's been recently, and how critically acclaimed he's been, he is signing on with Universal Pictures for a 5-year deal where he will write and direct 2 upcoming films.
I'm pretty excited. I like anything he does. Besides The Twilight Zone, that one was kind of lackluster, but Get Out was good. I think Us is still my favorite horror movie this year so far.
Okay.
So
nice. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much agree. I liked both of his movies, and I actually liked the majority of the Twilight Zone. Maybe not some of the super all right, I'm gonna push this issue down in your face, and that's largely it, and the story around it is meh. But a lot of the episodes were pretty cool, and I think he's just super creative, and that's what we need. So I'm pretty pumped.
Especially for Candyman.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a reimagination. Apparently it's a sequel now, and Tony Todd is coming back.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, pretty exciting. But Peele is not writing and directing that one. I'm assuming he's going to think of some original stuff, and as always, it's probably going to have some kind of socio-political angle. But yeah, he's just super inventive, and he loves the genre, which is important. So say what you will, but I think we're going to see 2 pretty exciting movies from him. So let's get on with some trailers. Again, there was a lot. If you want to see all the stuff that came out since our last like non-interview episode, just go and search for trailers on like your favorite news site. But the first one here is Trick. This one's coming out October 18th in theaters, on demand, and digital HD.
Yeah, this one kind of looks like, no offense to the guys, because I know they're independent, even though like one of them produced My Bloody Valentine, which was like a Hollywood movie.
The remake, right?
Yeah. So this one kind of looks super independent, grainy-ish, and the cinematography looks pretty much like film school cinematography. It doesn't look like super professional, and the premise, like, oh no, an unstoppable killer who comes out on Halloween. This has never been done before. We already have Michael Myers, and then after that, now we have like the new generation, Art the Clown. He's like the new generation of Halloween killers, and now we have this.
Yeah, I kind of don't think that this is going to take off, really.
No.
The trailer just looked
lackluster.
Okay, but like I'm really over the whole like killer in a zip up hoodie thing. That's kind of dumb. The masks look kind of cool, but I don't know. See, I like some movies that take the approach of like, oh, let's give the killer like a bunch of masks or something. It'll be very like Halloween and festive-y and stuff. And this does look like it's going to be, festive, in the spirit of Halloween. But I don't know. It just looks meh.
I don't like the festivity when it deals with teenagers and people in like their early 20s, because it's always just about like partying and drinking.
Right.
I like movies like Trick or Treat and Tales of Halloween, where it's like more like the traditional Americanized Halloween with like candy and trick-or-treaters and like stories centered around like kids, and like it's a coming of age type of thing, or you know what I mean? Like I'm not interested in like adults drinking and dressed up as butterflies. Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and it seems like it's trying to be in like the vein of, something like Halloween or any of those slashers, but we'll see. It doesn't look super inspired, although shout out to my boy Omar Epps. I know he's been in some other stuff, but the last time that I watched anything he was in, it was when he was in House. That was like a while ago, but good to see that he's still like making movies. And he's probably like the main, like, I don't even know if he's A-list, sorry Omar, but like big time actor in this movie. So I don't know, it seems interesting. Next up, we have Castle Rock Season 2. As promised, this one's going to be all about young Annie Wilkes. And this one looks interesting.
It's funny they showed Jerusalem's Lot in that trailer, but other than that, like, I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I don't really know either, because we see that Annie Wilkes is, for some reason, staying in Castle Rock. And I think she's got a daughter, I want to say. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but there's like a little girl with her, and she's like protecting her. And it seems like she's on the run for whatever reason. I mean, she's insane, so she probably like killed someone or something. But then it kind of loses me, because it seems like there's some kind of supernatural shit going on, but like I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Tim Robbins is in it. That's cool, but I don't know who his character is supposed to be or anything. So season 1 was kind of confusing a lot of the times too, so I mean I expect this to kind of follow suit. But
so season 1 ended, like, and that story ended?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna be.
I didn't watch like the last 4 episodes of it.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll tell you later how it ended, but that's the direction that they're going in. Like, it all takes place in Castle Rock, primarily, but it's just going to be like different stories.
Is that like based on any other Stephen King story? Like the first one?
I don't think that. I think that story was unique, but Sheriff Pangborn and stuff was in other Castle Rock based novels of King's and stuff like that. There's a lot of like Castle Rock based stuff, but not that specific story. This one technically I think is original too, but it's just using the character and like putting her in Castle Rock.
Because like the first season, I don't know what was going on, but I like read people like discussing like who's the boy.
Yeah.
And they said the boy was the black dude in the show, just from like another dimension.
Yes, I think something like that.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, King stuff is largely like multi-dimensional things. I mean, the new In the Tall Grass, kind of same thing. But yeah, check out Castle Rock Season 2 if you want. You don't have to have seen season 1. It looks pretty cool. Lizzie Kaplan as Annie Wilkes. Actually,
it works.
Seems like
she looks she looks out of it. I forgot that this whole season was based on her until you said that, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And she sounds like her.
Is this like a only written for like Hulu like official prequel to Misery? Like it hasn't been like explored by King?
I don't know if it's I don't think it's been explored by him. I don't think that this is even supposed to be like a prequel to Misery. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see in the show. So check it out, October 23rd if you're interested. I probably will. And the last one is called The Turning.
This one looks a lot better than both of those.
Yeah. This is going to be like a more high budget film. It's got Finn Wolfhard from
Stranger Things
in it. It's got Mackenzie Davis playing the protagonist of the film. And this is another adaptation of The Turn of the Screw. So it seems to be kind of following along the same plots, but of course, being a modern horror film, it's got a lot of other shit going on too.
Yeah.
But it does look good. It looks like the production quality is going to be good. I'm worried that there's going to be some jump scares that are not going to be very good, but it looks creepy. So
I'm okay with the jump scares as long as they're not predictable, but like nowadays, these like paranormal movies are so similar that in every single movie you can tell when the jump scare is about to occur, and that's my only issue. I love jump scares. Like I do think they're cheap at times, like especially like I said, if you see it coming. But if it's placed correctly and there's like a few decent ones, like I'll be like, whoa! Like no movie has made me jump in recent memory other than like when I was rewatching the original Alien.
Oh yeah, I know, and you know. The story itself is supposed to be kind of like a more classic ghost story. And the one like big adaptation of the novel or whatever it was The Innocents all the way back in 1961. And that was, it's a 60s like ghost movie. So it wasn't jump scary at all, but it was like super atmospheric, very minimal lighting. So it always felt like really dark and really like claustrophobic. And that's what made that movie work. This one looks way different, like in tone. So I'm just curious. It looks very like dreary.
Yeah.
So that's probably kind of like The Lodgers. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. That one was like fucking weird though.
It was. I feel like this is going to be kind of like the same tone though. At least that's what it seems
like it, yeah.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that one, guys. That one's actually coming out also pretty soon, but January 24th, 2020. So still got a few months. But that's going to be it for the news. Let us know if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, excited or upset even. But we're going to move on into our main segment in just a second. So take a quick break if you need to. And then we'll be back with our first grave choice. So before we get right into it, I do want to let you guys know kind of where we're coming with this particular episode. So as these are suggestions, there might be a little bit of bias. We're going to try not to spoil anything, but these are probably films that you guys have most likely checked out before. If not, we won't give any major plot points or anything away. But, I do want to examine why these films are going to be good watches for the October Halloween season, and of course just what makes them films that you should check out. So the first movie that we're going to start off with is one off of Sam's list. So Sam, why don't you start it off?
It is a more recent film that was done perfectly well and illuminates the Halloween spirit, and one of the things we all love to do if we haven't outgrown it is check out haunted houses. You might know what I'm talking about. This is The Houses October Built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from 2014, so pretty new. Definitely riding the sudden resurgence of the niche Halloween type horror film, that was really kind of brought back by Trick or Treat. And this one is a little bit different, though. This one, examines the whole haunted house scene, which, if you've ever been to a haunted house, you guys know it's a very, nomadic business. Obviously, they come out in October, or I guess like late September now. But these are people who are passionate about it. They go around, they set up these haunted houses, but it's a sketchy business.
Yeah.
And this movie captures that perfectly and examines that sketchiness as like fear of, well, are all these places legitimate? You know, I was recently talking to one of my coworkers about that McCamey Manor and shit like that, and that's the
I heard it's bullshit about as of recently, a guy like hosted in his like backyard, and like they say people basically like waterboard you and like drop earthworms and cockroaches on your face, and I can't believe the fucking tagline for that shit, like even soldiers couldn't get through this. It's like, bro, they've seen their friends' legs get blown off and killed in front of them. You think shoving worms down their throat's gonna like fuck with them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that whole thing is like weird and sick, but that was his October, Bill. I mean, kind of plays on that very real fear.
Yeah, because these friends are looking for these extreme haunts. Like, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but it is a found footage movie or mockumentary, whatever you want to call it. And these friends are looking for like an extreme haunt, or so you think. You find out everything that unravels in the second one, but I'm not gonna even go into that because we're talking just about the first one and not the whole entire like storyline. Because I'm pretty sure the second one was like written afterward, and they were just like, oh no, actually, like,
yeah.
So
likely.
These people like start exploring these extreme haunted houses, and then they start getting stalked like by the employees, even when they drive like 100 miles away. And there's a blue mask guy they're supposed to look for, and each haunted house they go to is like kind of like iffy, and you know, some of them are getting like irritated. They're like, yo, we wanted extreme haunts, we wanted like the real deal Holyfield. So like at one point, like they drive away from one of them, and like the people follow them, and like they got footage like the people like gassed out the fucking trailer and like basically infiltrated their fucking RV. And the thing about this is like, it's realistic. It's not like Trick or Treat or Tales of Halloween in like the traditional sense of like being festive and like, oh, if you don't follow the rules of Halloween, the spirit of Halloween's gonna get you. It's like straight up like, yo, what if I visit some fucking haunted house and I piss some of these guys off and they start stalking us and they won't leave me alone? And like putting yourself in that position is like the most terrifying part. Like, if you know me, you know I like to get high before I watch these movies. So like I get super emotional watching this. So I'm like, damn, what if this was me in the situation and tied up me and my friends? I think I'm like 5 minutes away from my own death. My life is flashing before my eyes. Yeah. And that for me is the most terrifying part of this movie.
No, I agree, because I actually was just at a haunted house. I checked out that Azra.
Oh, how was it?
House. It was cool. Yeah, it was dope. There were some cool rooms.
Was there any like good jump scares in there?
Yeah, there was a few of those, and then there was one room where I don't know if they want me telling you this, but so I won't exactly say, but it was kind of like a mirror maze thing, and they had the creepy part is that they had these fucking contortionists in there doing bro, it was freaky as fuck.
I really want to check it out.
It was cool, but you know, you go to places like that and you see a lot of these performers, and I mean, a lot of them are just that exactly. They're performers, they're passionate about it. Yeah, they like to scare people, but sometimes you can't help but think like who these people really are when they're not doing haunted house type stuff, right? And I think that some people will probably look at some of these performers who I don't think most people do like extensive background checks or anything like that. You know, might have criminals and stuff in there. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But that's like a real fear. And so that's exactly why this movie is realistic, because you don't know who some of these people are. And some of them, like the people who do McCamey and shit, probably are just like actual real sickos, and some of them maybe are murderers. Who knows, right? So I agree. Every time I watch a movie like this, I'm like, fuck. Like if I go out in the country and just start looking at haunted houses and shit, eventually I might come across
some crazy motherfuckers.
Some crazy people, yeah, exactly.
That you don't want to piss off. I mean, I'm not fucking scared. I'll fucking stab you if you try to fucking follow me. Like, I will cut you into fucking pieces, and I will fuck those pieces.
But, you know,
if you're a regular person who's not a fucking, like, sicko like me, like, you might be worried about people at these haunted houses. Yeah, right. And it's a realistic fear. I mean, even me, they could, like, end up sneaking into my RV and, like, tranquilizing me, and then I'm tied up, and then who can I stab? Nobody.
Right. But, yeah, it's a totally real fear, and the film does a really good job at showcasing that and fleshing that out. But even apart from that, you know, it does take place around Halloween, around all these haunted houses. So it's a super festive movie. Like you said before, not in the same way necessarily as like Trick or Treat or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, but this is how you would kind of experience Halloween in reality. So I think this movie is a perfect Halloween movie as well. The found footage angle, also probably one of the better found footage movies I've seen, you know.
Yeah, one of my favorite ever.
Not like insane camera movement or anything like that. And I mean, it does a good job of like building the tension, you know. And a lot of the shots, honestly, that the camera just like randomly catches are really creepy, like seeing that porcelain chick or whatever when she's like standing around and following them and stuff.
Or when she walked into their RV and just started screaming.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of cool scenes in this movie. I mean, I definitely recommend it as well. And I like watching it. So, the second one, yeah, I won't get into it. But the first one, definitely, if you're looking for a cool movie that'll get you in the Halloween spirit, this is a good one.
And it'll scare the fucking shit out of you.
Yeah. And it's anxiety inducing, so.
Extremely.
You know,
so,
what more could you want?
Trigger warning.
Exactly. So, that's The Houses of October. Do you want to say anything else about it before we
No, I think it's great. I think we can talk about the next movie. What's next on our list?
So the next one is off of my list, and
Ooh.
this one, I didn't have too many like actual Halloween themed ones on my list this year, just because I like to diversify. But this one, I feel like, even though it's not festive in the traditional sense, it still has a lot of horror elements.
That's fair.
It's got monsters. And in particular, vampires.
Oh, I know which one this is.
And I've been wanting to talk about this one for a while, actually. It's one of my favorite horror movies, one of my favorite vampire movies. Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992.
Gary Oldman, one of the GOATs.
Exactly. I mean, he's... say what you will about the whole, like, boob hair thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's... At this point, I feel like it's iconic, but...
It is, I think so.
But he's great.
I mean, how else do bougie Transylvanians dress? Like, he has long hair and he doesn't want to keep it out. Let the man put it in a boob bun.
Exactly, yeah. Stuff a bra in there. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, why not?
He lives basically alone in that castle.
Yeah, he can do what he wants. He's probably crazy as fuck anyway.
I'm sure he is. But yeah, this one definitely a lot more in the mainstream, obviously, than The Houses October Built. I think that one is perfect too, just because, you know, it's not like a huge blockbuster thing, but this one was.
Yeah, this one was giant.
And actually was hugely successful. I mean, this movie won 3 Oscars and nominated for a 4th one as well. So it's insanely successful. It's become a pop culture staple at this point too. Now when you think of Dracula, you think of either Bela Lugosi. I mean, you think of the other guys too, but at least in my opinion, it's usually Bela Lugosi or Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Right. So very influential film, but I think it fits for the Halloween October season just because of what Francis Ford Coppola and his crew accomplished with building the sets, building the atmosphere. The fucking wolf and bat monsters are terrifying. I mean, come on.
Oh my god, when he transformed into that thing, that I was like,
in the asylum.
Yeah, I was like, yo, is he a vampire or is he a werewolf? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So the first
you
one.
Remember I told you about that after I saw it? I texted you. I was like, yo, what's up with the fucking werewolf? Like,
yeah, I know. The first time where he does look more wolf-like when he's seducing Lucy, right?
Yeah,
is great. But then later in the sanitarium when he's seducing Mina and the gang like collapses on him and like corners him and he turns into that fucking bat creature. That's one of my favorite like moments in horror, period. Because that thing is terrifying. That scene is shot super well. It's everything about that is just amazing.
My favorite thing, like Gary Oldman was like able to portray like the like, I don't know what's it called, the desperation of like getting blood as a vampire, like when what's his face cut himself.
Yeah.
That was like extremely unsettling for me.
In the beginning, right? Keanu as I know. Dude, that opening scene was, well, I guess it's not the opening scene, but that first act with him and Jonathan Harker in the castle was just like peak Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
I'm really like pissed that he didn't even get a nomination for his acting.
The only thing creepier then that is like the same, the other variation of it in Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Those two, like, two of the creepiest moments in like movie history. I would say.
Are you talking about the Nosferatu remake? Or
yeah, the remake.
When he like pushes the chair aside?
Yeah, that was fucking terrifying, bro. I can't believe that movie came out in 79.
I know. I was actually just watching that scene. It's crazy, but that's a whole other movie. I was too. But I gotta rewatch it. But this one though, kind of similar moment where he like just picks the sword up and fucking swings the sword at him. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was super intense. I mean, just phenomenally acted the whole time. The only thing you can really say, I think, is about Keanu's performance in this movie,
I was gonna say, thank God they didn't pick him to be Dracula.
Oh my God,
am Keanu Dracula.
Yeah, I think maybe like modern day Keanu
could do a lot
maybe
better.
At least he has the look down a little bit more. But no, I'm glad they picked Gary Oldman. But yeah, Keanu was he did okay in some parts, but other parts he was just like, you know, Dracula. You know, like
he's like way too like surfer boyish.
Yeah, it's like he took his Bill and Ted.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm gonna slap a British accent on this character, basically.
Yeah.
But apart from that, great movie. Sets the mood so well. Pretty much the entire film.
It is super atmospheric, and I think that's what people don't really talk about with this movie. But like, it's very unsettling throughout the entire thing.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Nosferatu with like darkness in the castle. Okay, now we're moving to the city, and it's kind of creepy. Like, no, this movie maintained its like creepiness, and it had action in it too, which was like pretty cool. So like, it had everything you'd want to see in like a Hollywood horror movie.
Exactly, and you know, you mentioned the action too, which isn't everywhere. There's a lot of, you know, these romance subplots too, which just exist in Dracula as a
vampires,
as a canon, you know. But
vampires always have the little romance aspect.
But it even did that really well because the way that Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, their like connection in the movie is great, and Dracula is seductive, but he's still a monster, and they portrayed that really well. But I was gonna say I like how the movie really just feels like an epic journey. Like, I think we don't have enough horror movies that are like that. But this movie goes from like, you know, continent to continent, country to country, throughout like the whole movie pretty much, as we follow this what's really like a rivalry between Van Helsing and Dracula, but just the whole thing with Harker trying to save Mina and all that stuff. But yeah, it feels like this grand thing, which is super cool.
I like movies that actually feel big, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those, and like, not only does it have like, people don't really talk about it, I guess, because it's not like Hollywood. It has a huge following still to this day, but like, there's not that many like cult fans on Instagram like, oh, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Sure,
like, and I think it deserves it. I mean, Gary Oldman now, he's like known more for like playing Commissioner Gordon, and I think people forget that he was fucking Count Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the best Count Dracula.
I mean,
not arguable, by the way.
I you know, I would agree with that. But
Bela Lugosi was like the cartoony-ish Dracula with like the cape and the blue. But Gary Oldman is Count Dracula.
I think so. I think he just plays that role so well, and he like had the menacing power that Dracula has, and he was also suave and charming, and just stand-up performance all around. But everything about this movie to me is just great. I mean, the score
is fucking amazing. One of my favorite movie scores, like recently discovered too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, Phantasm, Halloween, like those are like my like top 3 so far.
I think, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but the score for this was I think actually composed by a Polish guy.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool. Yeah. But the score is awesome. A lot of those effects that you see with like Dracula's eyes popping up in the background, a lot of that stuff was actually made like by splicing together film and stuff. It wasn't like CGI or digital effects. It was like real fucking like filmmaking effects, you know, which makes it even more awesome.
That's super impressive. I mean, imagine nowadays how they would have gone about that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have just popped it in digitally or something.
We need a good Dracula remake.
Yeah.
You know who would be an amazing Dracula? Willem Dafoe.
I know. He was Count Orlok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like to see him as like Count Dracula, or even like, I think someone that could play it well is Joaquin, but
oh yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, they're just great actors all around. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone will be able to match.
It'll be better than Gary Oldman,
yeah.
but modernized. Like, I think we need a new like Count Dracula movie and like a newer like Frankenstein. We need to bring back like the classic.
Yeah.
The monsters everyone would see at the Halloween stores around Halloween time, and that's what this is about. That's why we included Dracula on this list. Dracula is one of your stereotypical goat Halloween monsters. My first grade costume, I was Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really want anything more out of Dracula. You got the big gothic castle, the spider webs. He's a vampire, which is a classic horror monster and Halloween monster. And this movie just like has all those elements and does them super, super well because it's Coppola. It's big budget, but it's dark and serious.
Exactly.
And you can tell that it's made with love. It's not like just a cheap adaptation.
I think they were trying to like maintain like compared to the book, like they were trying to like make it super, super similar.
Yeah. I just love the whole movie. The editing, the transitions. I mean, it's just there's so much vision and it's fully realized, and I can't really say much more. And it's scary.
Yeah, it is. Not just for the time. Like I think it's still, withstood the test of time because I watched it like a few months ago, and like though it was a long movie, which let me clear something. Long and drawn out or like dragging are not the same thing.
Right.
Some movies need to be long, and this one was like perfectly long. Like I actually wanted it to be a little longer. I felt like sometimes the pacing in some scenes were like a little too quick in their transition from one scene to another. I would love to have like more story because like I felt like you said, this movie has that huge feel to it. Like it's a big movie. It has a big movie feel.
It's an adventure, yeah.
Yeah, so like I felt like I'd be good with like another 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Like they need to like I wish they had like a extended director's cut or something. Like have some stuff that wasn't included in the book,
I think there are maybe some deleted scenes. I'd have to look, but I would agree. I think really the part that feels the quickest for me, I don't know if I want to say rushed, but maybe rushed, is just that last part when they drive Dracula out of the asylum and they go after him. Then like from there to the remainder of the movie as a whole feels a bit like it goes really fast from scene to scene, so that would be, in my opinion, the thing to extend. Plus it would make the final like battle just feel more like climactic.
And complete. Like because like to have such like a long movie and then like to have so much stuff happen and then just sort of abruptly like finish like ahead of time, like it's like, isn't he supposed to be just this like, he's supposed to be like the main like, I don't know, I guess antagonist you could call him, but I find myself rooting for him just because like it's fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
But we'll call him the anti-hero, I guess, like because he's not really evil. He has to drink blood to live. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but he did it because he cursed God and
because his wife fucking You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just like, I'm evil. Fuck you, God. Like,
no, totally. Yeah, and it's a complicated character, and I think this movie portrays that really well.
It's easy to like empathize with him. You know, like. I don't know, man. I found myself rooting for him like I usually do with like the villain if they're not like a child murderer or like some shit like that, or like a misogynistic killer like in fucking that one hospital movie. I don't know what the fuck it was called.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Like I felt like we could empathize with this character too, which is what I thought was pretty sick because like imagine like looking up to like a person who sucks the life force out of you.
Yeah. It's just a cool character, and they made him really well. I'm curious to see like what other directions they take Dracula in. I mean, with like the Invisible Man coming out, I think if that succeeds, we're gonna probably see another Dracula movie.
Fuck it, I'll play Dracula.
Out. Yeah, there you go. Just cast Samael.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm pale.
Yeah, I'm pretty ghost-like myself. Yeah. I don't think I could pull out Dracula, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, this movie, if you have 2 hours and you want a movie with monsters, that creepy atmosphere, that very horror-centric score and all that stuff, check out Bram Stoker's Dracula. And we're running a little bit low on time, but I do want to move on to our final 2 movies. I think we'll just touch upon these briefly. But the first is another one off of your list.
Yes.
Pumpkinhead.
Yes, a classic Halloween time movie just because of the word pumpkin. But what does Halloween need? Ghouls, witches, warlocks, werewolves, vampires, ghosts, and monsters.
Exactly.
And I watched The Unnameable a few days ago, honorable mention. And so I had to pick a monster movie. Because I picked a Halloween-centered movie, which was House of October Built. Now a classic monster movie. Probably the strongest monster in like the history of horror movies. Because you can't kill him unless you kill his summoner. And that is Pumpkinhead.
Yep.
Keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Bolted doors and windows barred. Guard dogs barking in the yard. Won't protect you in the bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead.
I did not remember that whole thing. I'm surprised you remember that.
I'm a huge fucking fan. I used to have nightmares when I was a kid that I'd be hiding in my basement for some reason, and then the basement door would open, and then Pumpkinhead would come walking down the basement steps.
Oh man, that would be fucking terrifying.
Imagine you're just trapped in a basement with... He probably wouldn't be able to maneuver in the basement though.
Probably not as much. But like that scene where he showed up in the doorway of that barn or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
That shit was terrifying. I mean, the monster himself is just fucking terrifying, but and like how high he can jump. Oh my god.
Like he can jump into like a 2-story tree. That shit is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
He looks terrifying. He's a revenge demon, so he's not going to stop coming after you until he gets revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, bro. The movie is super atmospheric. It has that classic 80s like dark blue like, you know, lens and shit or lighting. I don't know what the fuck they used. It's like super foggy and like it starts off in the daytime, but then like majority of the movie is like at nighttime.
Yeah.
It starts off with the father and his kid. His kid gets accidentally run over. So in a minor overreaction, Lance Henriksen's character Ed Harley goes to a witch and says, "Hey, they killed my boy. I want them all dead." And Pumpkinhead proceeds to try to kill a group of teenagers. So, yeah, atmosphere, terrifying fucking monster.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need? I mean, it wasn't, like someone else mentioned, it wasn't like this great fucking movie with this overlapping story and it has a lesson. It's like, no one wants that, okay? I don't give a fuck what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with horror fans. Like, a regular haunted house movie comes out or a regular monster movie, sucked, brah.
Yeah.
But a movie comes out about like some crazy dude and it has a whole bunch of metaphors and everyone's like, oh my god, that was so awesome. It's these hipsters that are just destroying fucking horror. Like, don't get me wrong, I like experimental artsy films, but like if you make every fucking movie like a fucking avant-garde fucking movie, you're ruining the fucking genre. It's, bro, back in, like, tell me what's the difference? Why do all these old monster movies like the fucking Wolfman have high ratings, but nowadays a monster movie's released with better acting, better fucking everything, similar story. Oh look, a monster, because it didn't need to be more than that. And now people are like, well, it's not a very smart movie, it's not innovative. Like, bro, I'm not sitting here like, I want innovation. Bro, when I sit here fucking bored, I pop in Friday the 13th part 5 and watch people get chopped to bits. I'm not here for fucking anything genius. If I wanted genius, I'd watch fucking Shutter Island or fucking Clue, or I'll watch some bullshit. I'm not here to be wowed. I'm here to like enjoy a movie's monster, what it looks like, the kills, the atmosphere, the music, the feeling. Like, I'm not here for like the fucking art house bullshit.
Yeah. So that said, I do think that Pumpkinhead is actually a unique premise.
Yeah.
And super unique monster and a scary monster. And I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, I think it's good for Halloween because it has all those elements. Like, yeah, there's no central like Halloween theme, and even
the pumpkin patch.
There's the pumpkin patch and stuff, yeah, which is cool. But you know, it's not like all in your face. But
exactly.
It's a dope monster movie.
Atmospheric.
That's fun. Good kills.
That's what does it for me. Is like the good kills, the darkness throughout the whole movie. They're just enveloping darkness around everything and everyone, and that's what makes it a perfect, like, if you're actually trying to get scared, fucking put in Pumpkinhead and don't watch it with your lights on with 10 friends. You sit in your room alone. You turn the lights off. No fucking nightlight. You fucking roll up a joint and then you watch Pumpkinhead and you tell me you're not having heart palpitations because you're fucking either lying or you're just a fucking sociopath and you don't feel anything.
There you go. And I think this next movie, because I do want to move on to the last one, is also to be seen in that exact same scenario, because I put this one on the list really also because it's just a scary movie. No big Halloween theme or anything like that, but
oh sure, that don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But you want scares, you want horror, here you go. So my last pick is Wreck, the original Spanish version, of course, from 2007, directed by I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. One is Paco Plaza and Jaume Balaguero, and I mean, if you've seen this film, it's a crazy movie. It's just super action packed. Some people probably might not appreciate the very often shaky camera because it is another found footage movie, but let's face it, realistic film, terrifying, at least in my opinion.
Dude, especially the ending.
Yeah,
it was bad enough they were stuck in like a apartment filled with like zombies and like that one bitch that tried to like bolt at the cop and fucking bite his ass. Like, if that wasn't bad enough, then they go into the attic and there's just giant fucking humanoid zombie that apparently can't see.
Well, I think it was completely dark in there anyway, and I think she'd been like locked up in there for a long time.
What the fuck was that thing, bro?
I think you learn in the second movie. I'll say that much.
Okay,
I don't want to give any big spoilers.
I have the collection, but I've only watched the first Wreck.
Yeah.
I've watched Quarantine, and like, talk about a frame by frame remake. They literally remade the movie frame by frame, and they took out the best part, which was the ending.
Yeah, it somehow just was so much worse. Like, not even really scary.
It wasn't.
The thing that I love about Wreck is that there are jump scares in it, but they're done
set
like
up
so
well.
effectively.
You don't see them.
No,
that's
not
the thing.
at all.
If you have like all these movies like The Conjuring 2, Insidious Chapter 2, you can kind of see the jump scares coming.
Yeah, because they set it up in the framing and everything.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I like when it's just like turn around, bang, like out of nowhere.
The guy falling.
Yeah.
I'm not say exactly what, but that caught me off guard first.
Yeah, that caught me off guard too. I fucking leaped. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of the zombies.
It's definitely one of my favorite zombie movies. I still have to watch Pontypool though.
You do have to watch that one's on my list, so you could probably check that one out.
Do you have
at
it?
some point? I don't own it
because I do.
I was thinking about getting it.
Because I do. If you ever want to watch it again,
that one's cool. Very unique concept. This one, I think, very unique. Not only in the concept too, which is always appreciated, but it was kind of like guerrilla style. They didn't build any sets for it. They just kind of went to this real apartment block, and they just. I think
that's the best. That's what makes it feel more like legit, because like you're not actually like but actually behind these cameras, there's a set. There's guys with lights. There's guys with mics. Like, you don't think that when you're watching this. You're just like, it's just really like raw found footage. What it really seems like, and it pulls it off well. There's not very much in character development. Apparently, you're only supposed to give a shit about the two people. The little girl, though, was fucking. That was kind of like.
She was good. That
was pretty sick. I kind of expected it to go the way it did with her. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hadn't seen it. But like when they're like, oh, she's kind of sick. I'm like, oh no. Like, you knew what direction that was going.
Yeah. No, she was great. Honestly, like, even though these were largely unknown actors, I mean, most of them had like no acting experience. Which I do like a lot of the time because, again, this is supposed to be kind of through the lens of like a nightly TV kind of show or whatever, like a live show. So it has that feeling for sure because everybody acts like pretty naturally, and actually the lead actress is also apparently a real like television reporter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which so I guess she just got cast for this movie. She shows up in some of the later movies. But that's all I'll say about that. But she is a real. You'll see.
That's weird to think how this one ended.
I know. You'll see. But no, Manuela Velasco is a real TV reporter apparently. So the whole thing is just very cool because it doesn't like feel low budget necessarily.
No, it just feels. It doesn't really have to because it feels like it's an actual like actual footage that somebody found.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's
production
the whole point.
quality. Like. When I'm watching a found footage, I don't want to see fucking, the lighting is amazing. I want to be like, I can't see shit. I'm fucking terrified.
Yeah, but, still very effective, claustrophobic
Extremely.
setting. even the camera feels claustrophobic as you're looking kind of through the lens, and builds up tension super well. Practical effects makeup is awesome because, you know, and this isn't really like a movie where you can afford to put in CGI, and I don't mean afford money wise. I just mean if you try to do anything like that, it's just going to ruin the whole effect. Yeah,
kind of like how, like, I don't know, there was some questionable CGI in like Grave Encounters Part 2.
I agree. Yeah,
that can ruin a whole movie.
I mean, you could probably even argue the first one, but I think the first one is good.
The first
enough.
one is good. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the first one. The second one I enjoyed too, but that one, like, kind of like, I don't know why it was just like more disturbing for me.
Yeah.
Probably because like a few people got bludgeoned.
Yeah. No, I mean, depending on the kills, you know, but yeah, that movie, Wreck, those are definitely ones you should check out this season, and that's kind of all I want to say about that one. We're running out of time here, guys, but let us know what you think about all these movies if you have seen them. Again, there's some like pretty well-known horror movies, but we think that these are some prime choices for your watch lists this month, and I hope that you guys enjoy them. So you can let us know what you thought about them by reaching out to us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Grave Discussions, or you can search Gravedisc SRD on Twitter, and then you can check out our website, gravediscussions.net, where we have all the shows, host bios, and much, much more. You can also find now the Cult Corner and Chopping Block segments on the website too. So that's going to do it for episode 79, Fiends.
And I know we talked about Dracula. I just want to give an honorable mention to forgotten Halloween season movies, Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to give that an honorable mention because I know everyone forgot about it.
And it is festive, so
yes.
I like it.
So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you check out these movies. I hope you enjoy listening to us week in and week out, because next week is kind of like a benchmark episode. It is going to be our 80th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And what will we do with episode 80? I don't know. Barnabas doesn't know yet.
We're going to juggle some flaming cats.
We're going to throw javelins at moving giant earthworms. Sorry, I was just reaching into this hat and grabbing out random nouns and verbs. That's how we come up with these things, you know. But make sure you tune in next week for episode 80 of Grave Discussions.
This has been an SRD production.